Hey guys, I'm Kat and I've got Christy with me today. We're going to take you through our hip prehab class. Just before we get started, you might want to grab a little bit of equipment. You might want to have a chair or your couch nearby, a couple of yoga blocks. Tennis balls are an option, but not necessary. Something slidey, so if you have a slider, that'd be great. If you have floorboards, socks will do, or on carpet, a Tupperware lid could work. And then if you've got ankle weights, you're welcome to grab them. Not essential, but they will make one of the exercises a little harder if you want to work a bit more. So I'm going to get Christy to start on all fours. So we're going to go to a body limber before we get started. I might need to go side on. We're just going to start with a few gentle cat cows here. So Christy's going to pull her belly button in, tuck her chin to her chest, and then she's going to go the opposite way. So let her belly button drop to the floor, look up. We're trying to get as much flexion and extension through that spine there as you can. And just gently working between the positions. As you can see, her elbows are straight and right under her shoulders, and the knees are directly under her hips. So the movement is all happening in the spine. And we might just do about 2 more reps here. Good, and then after this rep, I'm going to get Christy to pop her hands onto the floor, and she's going to put her forehead into it, so blocking going into her floor. So she's going to come down, she's going to pop her head into her hands, and now she's going to round her upper back, and she's going to push her back over her head. Okay, so this is taking this out of the equation up, and now from there, Christy's just going to stick her butt out, and then she's going to tuck her tail under. So we're just focusing a little bit more on that lumbar area now. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of straddle and pancake focus work today, and so just warming up the hips for that anterior tilt that we'll be needing later on. So just gently moving between the positions. She's got quite a bit of movement there. You might not have quite as much. That's perfectly fine. Just work with what you've got and keep that upper back really stiff. Good. We're going to go for about another 5 to 10 seconds here. And then you can pause after that next one. From there, I'm going to get Christy to come back up onto her hands into that quadruped position. We're going to work through hip casts. So she's going to take her right knee towards her armpit without rounding her back, out to the side. She's going to internally rotate, and then she's going to extend that leg behind her and lower it down. Then she's going to reverse, lift it up. You can see her spine stay still as she brings that leg externally rotates and brings it around to her armpit. So we're just going to work for time here. Alternating directions, guys. Once again, Christy is pushing through the floor. Her elbows are completely locked, and she is isolating that movement to her hip. If there's any pain, any pinching, then just make that circle a little bit smaller. So we don't want to push through that. There's slow and steady circles, trying to get as much range there as you can. And once again, Christy is doing a really good job of keeping her spine still. We want to avoid any excessive arching and rounding. 10 seconds on this side. Good, so just finish that rep that Christy's on, and then she can swap over to the other leg. So when you're ready, just change to the other side. Same motion here. Just nice and smooth working through these circles. Good, really nice. See if you can make that circle a slightly bit bigger over this next few reps without compensating anywhere else. So still keeping that spine still keeping both elbows straight, especially one on the opposite side. So if you're working the left leg, you're going to want to especially have that right elbow locked. 10 seconds here. And then I'm just going to let Christy finish the rep that she's on. You're always going to finish the rep at full. So if you need to complete the other direction, still do that, and then you can pause. From there, we're going to come into a seated position. We're going to work through some knee casts. So Christy is going to hook her right leg under her right arm. From there, the other leg will just be straight out. She's going to lock this leg into position. She's going to pull her foot towards her shin, okay? And then she's going to turn that leg up. So external rotation. And from there, we're going to extend that leg up as best as you can. Then we're going to internally rotate and then bring that leg back down. Good. Now we're going to externally rotate at the bottom, extend, internally rotate and come down. Now we hold that internal rotation as we extend that leg back up, externally rotate, come down, internally rotate at the bottom, one more, extend, externally rotate, and come down. While we're here, we're going to work into the ankle next. So now we're going to lock that shin into place, and we're going to work 3 nice big circles in each direction with that foot. So she's going to pull the toes towards her, she's going to bring it in, down, out, and up. So trying to move that ankle through the biggest circle that you can. Try and make it a smooth motion, trying not to get stuck anywhere. And once you've done 3 one way, just swap sides and work 3 back the other way. And then once we've done that, we'll do the same on the left. Good, so when you're ready, hook that left leg under your left arm, lock it into place. We're going to start with the knee cuff. So pull the foot towards your shin, externally rotate, so turn the pinky out, and then we're going to start to extend the leg, internally rotate at the top, and bend that leg. Externally rotate at the bottom, extend, internally rotate, bend. Now hold the internal rotation. We're going to extend, holding that rotation, externally rotate at the top, down, internally rotate, extend, externally rotate, and come down. Good. From there, just anchoring that shin into position now, working through those 3 big ankle calves in each direction. Good. I'm trying not to just move your toes, but actually initiate the movement from your ankle. As big a circle as you can, hitting all corners there. Good. And then once you've done your 3 circles, we're just going to take our legs out into a bit of a straddle. So all the way out to the side, and then we're just going to face over that right leg, and we're just going to gently pulse down, just easing into it, guys. Still going through the warm-up, so don't push too hard, but just gently limbering into it. We're going to work through about 10 pulses over one leg, then we're going to turn over to the other side. So let's go another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then Christy's going to turn over the other side, so turning over your left leg, gently pulsing down. So it's not uncontrollable bouncing, it's just a gentle pull into that stretch. Good, for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just gently forward. You don't have to go too low into it, just pop the hands out in front of you for support, and then gently pulsing down and forward. Think about sticking your tailbone out a little bit if you can. Good, guys. Gently drawing into that stretch. Let's do another 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, from there, I'm going to Christy to come into a kneeling lunge position. So we'll start with the left leg forward. You're just going to glue the chest to the thigh here. Hands can be on the floor. And then from there, shift back into a bit of a hamstring stretch, just gently. The leg doesn't need to go all the way straight here, but keep your chest glued onto that thigh. Good. Once again, just warming into it, so don't force anything, just getting a little gentle stretch into that hamstring. Good, guys. Let's do 3 more on this leg. Good. And then we'll swap it over to the other side after that last one. Good. So once again here, keep your chest on your thigh and then shifting back until you find a hamstring stretch. Good. Working through the last few. Let's do 3 more reps. And then we're going to finish our limber in a frog position. Beautiful. So once you've done that last one, just come into a frog. So we're going to take the knees out to the side. Christy has her knees, her hips in one line, her knees and her ankle are in a line. And she started to just straight away gently rock forward and back. You're welcome to do that. If you prefer, just hold that position statically. That is perfectly fine. I'm just going to spend a little while here. We're going to go through those rocks first. And then we will add a couple contractions where we push your knee down into the floor. So if you're rocking back and forth, I'll get you to sit back into that stretch now, find a position there, and then just gently start to push your knees down into the floor. And then gradually increase that push until you hit a safe but quite strong limit there. And we're going to push down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Soften into that stretch. We'll do 2 more of those. So let's inhale and gently start to squeeze the knees down again. Gradually building up the amount of tension. And then full push down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Softening to the stretch. Maybe you want to move your knees out a little further. You can see Christy just popped her hand on her knee to help slide it out. If you're fine where you are, that's great. Stay there. And 1 more contraction here. So start to gently squeeze the knees down into the floor. Up that contraction. And then a nice strong push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Just take another breath there for me before you come out. And then when you're ready, use your arm for support. You might want to come forward. You might want to slide the knees in underneath you and then sit into a child's pose for a moment before we come up into a seated position. All right, we're going to start with figure 4 rotations today. So Christy's going to sit up in a bear sit. Knees are up, bent, feet are in. And then from there, she's going to swivel over to one side. And then if she can, she won't use her hand. She's just going to lift up onto her knees. Sorry, so she's going to come up onto her knees, going to push her hips forward. And then she's going to slowly sit herself back down onto the floor. She's going to swivel her legs around to the other side and do the same there. If you can't quite get off the floor or control the movement, you can have the hands behind you and also use the hands to help push up there. So when you're ready, join on in. We've got about 60 seconds on these rotations here. We're going to try and stay nice and upright. You can see Christy's reaching her hands up in front of you. If you're more comfortable out to the right, that's perfect. Fine, or if you need them as a bit of a kickstand, then that is a good option here as well. And a big squeeze of the hips at the top, so squeeze your butt, try and really push your hips forward, come into a nice tall and upright position. Good, we've got a little longer to go here, guys. So unlike our 90-90 transitions or basic transitions where we actively really pull the knees apart, this is not quite as critical here. It's more I swivel through with the feet being a little closer, and then it's that lift off onto your knees. Last rep here, once Christy has done this one, we're going to wrap it up there. Good. And then we're going to move into an active pigeon next. So we're going to start in a lunge position, hands on the floor. So taking the left leg forward. Christy has her hands on either side. Okay, so I might get you spin facing forward for a second, is that right? Just do it. So you can see her hands are on either side of her foot, and then from there she's going to roll that knee out to the side. She's going to let her hips sink to the floor, and then she's going to bring that leg in. She's just got her fingertips down. If you need more support, put your palms flat onto the floor or elevate them on books if needed. All right, let's work for 45 seconds here. So when you're ready, join in. And just work at your own pace. So find a bit of a stretch to the outside of the hip as the knee rolls out, and then bring that knee back in underneath you. And as you can see, Christy has got her knee right over her ankle. She hasn't got the knee pushed way over her toes. So about a 90-degree angle on that knee. And feel free to pause in each position for a moment. Hold that stretch before you transition back. If this is too strong, you're welcome to drop your back knee to the floor. So Christy's demoing that for you there for a moment. Good, so you choose the variation that feels right for you today. Good, we've probably got time for about 2 more. And then once we've done the second one, we just swap sides. So at your own pace, when you're ready, pop the other leg forward and then work into that active pigeon. If you find you don't need as much support, you're welcome to come right under the fingertips, maybe even have only a couple fingertips down. That will make your legs work a lot harder here. Good. We are just through halfway there, guys. Same as on the other side. If you do need to pop that knee to the floor, feel free to do that. Focus is on that front hip. And let's do 2 more on this side. And once you've done that, you can come up to standing. Good. If you need to swivel the hips around for a moment, feel free to do that. And then we're going to work into a straddle good morning. So I'm going to give Christy the stick. She's going to pop the stick onto the back of the shoulders. If you don't have a stick, pop your hands across your chest or on your hips wherever you're comfortable. The stick is not critical, okay? As you can see, she's got her legs out in a straddle. And from there, she's going to stick the bum out slightly, and then she's going to hinge forward with a long spine, pause for a second, and then come back up. I might need to do 1 rep side on as well, if that's all right. So as Christy is hinging forward, you can see her spine is nice and long. There's no rounding. Can you do 1 bad rep? So as you can see, she's not letting her chest dive down. She's keeping a nice long spine there. Let's work through 10 reps here, guys. So coming forward for 1, pause, and drive up. Good. 2, the knees are unlocked, just a soft bend there. Down for 3. Good. 4. So we do want to feel the hamstrings a little bit lengthening here. Maybe your adductors a bit as well. That is 5. 6. And you can see really nicely how Christy's hips are traveling backwards as she hinges forward. 7. 8. 9, and last rep, coming forward, and then drive back up to standing. Good, well done. All right, we've got 1 more round of these 3 exercises, guys. So you can pop the stick onto the floor. We're going to go back into the figure 4 rotations. So pop the knee towards the foot, find that triangle shape, lift up onto your knees, lower yourself back down to the floor, and then pushing up on the other side. And just work these at your own pace. We don't want to rush through them. If you need to go a little slower, please feel free to do that. You're going to try and stay as tall through the spine throughout the entire movement as we swivel those legs through. So if the hands need to go behind you as a kickstand, go for it. And we've got about another 15 seconds to go. Really nice. As you push up into these, squeeze your butt, drive the hips forward, and then we will just finish up on this rep. Once you're back down on the floor, you can pause, and then we'll set up our active pigeon next. So finding that lunge position. Back knee is off or on the floor if you want to scale it back a little, and then let's start to bring that knee out to the side, let the hips sink down, and bring the knee in. As your knee rolls out to the side, try not to let your hips travel over to the same side. So if the left knee rolls out, the hips aren't pushing over to the left, they're just sinking straight down to the floor into a stretch. And you can keep the hands flat down. If this is quite comfortable and easy for you and you feel like you want to challenge yourself a little further, take less weight through your hands. So maybe fingertips, maybe only a couple fingers down lightly. 10 seconds to go. Good. Last rep here. And then you can pause and change to the other side. Find that lunge position, guys, with the knee over your ankle, so 90-degree angle on that front leg, and then roll that knee out. Find a stretch to the outside of your hip, and then bring it back. Good, so as you can see, Christy's spending a moment in that stretch with the knee rolled out. You're welcome to do that. And we are over halfway. We've got about another 15 seconds to go. Last rep here. Find that stretch, sink down, and then come back up to the top. Good. All right, let's come back up to standing and grab that broomstick if you have one. We've got one more round on the straddle good mornings. So find that straddle. If the last round was quite comfortable, maybe take your feet a little wider for this round, okay? And then from there, start to hinge forward, stick the butt back, long spine, and up for 1, 10 reps. 2, 3, and as you can see, Christy's standing tall. She is not pushing her hips forward and arching her lower back at the top. 3, 4, good. 5, 6, last few reps here. 7, soft bend in those knees, so not fully locked. 8, 9, and 10. Well done. All right, we'll pop the stick aside, and then for our next exercise, guys, we will need our slider or whatever you're using on your flooring. Okay, Christy's going to come into a 90-90 position. We're going to work the back leg, the trail leg first, and we're going to pop this slider under her foot. You might also want to grab your yoga block or cork, and we're going to pop this in front of her knee, okay? The aim is, as we're going through this exercise, for the knee not to push forward, but to just come up and pull back. So from there, Christy is going to hinge from her hip to pull this knee off the floor, and she's going to slide that foot in underneath, okay? So she's keeping the 90-degree angle on this knee, and then she's going to slide the foot back out, the knee comes down. It's going to be much easier if she pulls that leg forward and then moves through it. We want to avoid that, so if you have something to block yourself, do that. It'll keep you honest, okay? We're going to work for time here. So when you're ready, guys, let's get set up, and I will pop the timer on for us now. So the hands are anchoring ourselves down. The chest is facing fairly forward. If chest all the way forward is too challenging and you get stuck, then turn your chest off to the side a little bit. But we want to try not to move the chest as we go through this movement with the hip. So once you have the position with your chest, keep it anchored into place. Excuse me. So we're going to pull the knee up towards the ceiling and then externally rotate. The foot is sliding in underneath. And you can see Christy's doing a really good job of keeping herself still. Her arms are anchoring herself down. The front leg stays in that 90 position. The only thing working here is that back hip. Last rep, guys. And then slowly coming back down and changing over to the other side. So block in front of your knee, foot onto your slider. Then find the right position with your upper body where you can work through this, but you're a little challenged. And then we'll get straight into it here. Good. So nice control. Try and max out how high you can bring up that knee and how far you can slide that foot under, but be really strict not to let the knee come forward. So if the yoga block is on the low side and it's here, and then you still slide that knee up and forward, you might want to bring it up, okay? Or just be really honest with yourself not to push past that imaginary line. Good, almost there. Last couple of reps. That hip should be working pretty hard here. And then once you finish the rep that you're on, you can pause there. Good, all right. From there, we are going to pop the equipment aside. Let's come into a sideline position next. So we're going to work, we're going to work a little bit of hip abduction here. So Christy's on her side. She can have her top hand down for a bit of balance. Bottom arm, she can rest her head, okay? We're going to work through a bit of abduction. She's going to lift this leg up to the ceiling, and she's going to keep her knees and her toes forward for the first few. As she does this, we want to try and just keep the spine in neutral. So we don't want to use the obliques here to crunch up, but lift through the hips. For the first 10, we keep this position, and then for the second 10, we're going to externally rotate, so knee and toes up to the ceiling, and work through the rest there. As she rotates, she's not letting herself roll back onto her butt. She's still staying on her side. So it's the female rotating in the hip. Okay? Let's do it, guys. So coming onto your left side, right leg is up to the ceiling. And let's lift up for 1 and down. 2, bit of a pause at the top and down. 3 and down. Christy's got great range here. Maybe you only come up to here, that's fine. Make sure it's coming from your hip. 4, 5, 6, good, really nice. 7, 8, 9, and 1 more, lift up and hold, and then down, good. Now at the bottom, externally rotate between your knee and your toes up to the ceiling as much as you can, lift up for 1, and down. 2, 3, you might find this one a little stronger in your glutes. 4, not rolling onto your butt though. 5, keep the hips facing forward as best as you can. 6, 7, 8, 9, and coming up for 10, hold there and down. Beautiful. All right, let's roll over to the other side and we'll get into the left leg. So find that nice straight line. Christy's not on a banana, she's not pushing her butt back, and then keeping the knee and the toes forward for the first 10. Let's go, lift up for 1 and down. 2 and down. Just trying not to pull her hip to her ribs so much, but lifting from the glutes. 4, 5, 6, 7, good, little pause at the top. 8, 9, just working with whatever range you have. 10, and then at the bottom, externally rotate the knee and toes up to the ceiling. Let's lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, working through those last few reps. 8, try and keep the range. 9, and up for 10, and down. Good work. All right, we're going to grab a quick drink and then go into a second round. Sorry guys, grab a quick drink. We just need to reset the cameras. Almost did that one quick.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's it. We just press the red button. All right, guys. We're going to work through one more round with these 2 exercises. I'm going to give you a slightly different option for the first one if you felt the last round easy. So instead of having your slide under your foot now, you've got the option to hover through this. So what Christy would do is she would first lift her foot off, and so internal rotate a little. Then she's going to bring her knee up. Now she's going to pull that knee and do the same motion. So hinge from the hip, and she's going to hover the foot underneath. It's going to come around, pop the knee down, and then pop her foot down. So this is going to add a little extra layer to it, and it makes it a bit more challenging. If that is too much or you can't keep form, then keep working with the slider that we used in the first round. You happy with that? Yeah. All right, I'm just going to make her work the hovers. All right, guys, you got no choice. Ready? We've got 45 seconds, so let's go through there. So still making sure we keep that knee behind the block. We keep the body anchored in, and then work through the reps there. So if you're going through the hovers, you're going to lift the foot off the floor first, then the knee. Then you're going to hinge from the hip, pull the foot underneath you. As you transition back, the knee goes down and then the foot. Good. If you're a slider, you're going to gently slide through. Same tempo all the way. We've got about another 10 seconds. So these active hovers will make it a bit more intense than just keeping the foot on the floor. And sliding it through, you choose the right level for you. And last rep there. Good. All right. Let's swap it to the other side, guys. And then when you're ready, I'll pop the timer on for us. Either slide that leg underneath or hover off. Keep your body anchored in position. So the arms are the kickstands. You're trying not to rotate or lean out to the side. If you get stuck, feel free to lean a little further, but then anchor that body into position there again, so there's no shifting back and forth as we go through the reps. Good. And we're over halfway. Good. So you can see Christy's working with a lot of control here. She's not letting that leg just drop back to the floor, but she's working through this with a controlled tempo. Last rep to go, guys. And pausing there. Good. From there, we're going to come back down onto our sides for the hip abduction. We're going to add 10-second holds into these ones now. So 10 reps first, knees and toes pointing forward, hold for 10 seconds at the top, and then we're going to externally rotate and go again. If anyone has ankle weight and would like to make it harder, you're welcome to pop an ankle weight onto the top leg. I reckon Christy will be happy with that. All right, when you're ready, guys, let's lift that leg up for 1 and down. 2 and down. Good. Keep that torso nice and long. 3, 4. Lifting from your hip. 5, 6. Keeping the leg really straight here as well. 7, 8, 9, and last one, lifting up and holding there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep the height. 5, nice and steady. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly control down. At the bottom, externally rotate, so knee and toes up, and then we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Staying on the side of your body. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Last couple reps, guys. 9. And then coming up for 10, holding there. Let's stay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Straighten that leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly bring it down. Beautiful. All right, other side. So coming up this side, find that nice straight line, and we're going to get straight into it. So lift that top leg for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. As high as you can without compensating. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we've got the hold at the top of this one, holding there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep it nice and high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly control it down. Now externally rotate. So turn the knees and toes up. Keep your hips on the side though, and let's go again. 1, 2, 3. Hold that rotation as that leg goes up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost there, guys. 9, and one more hold at the top. Bring that leg up. Stay nice and high for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and control it down. Well done. All right. If you need to swivel the hips around for a moment, go for it, and then we're going to set up for our next set. So for our next exercise, I'm going to give you a couple options. We'll demo the easier one first, and then the harder variation. You choose which one is right for you. Okay. As always, we want to make sure we can work with good form. So if that means choosing the modified variation, please go for it. Actually, so easy option, as you have a chair. Yes, I will face this way. Come on. And we're going to work through a seated straight. Good morning. So you can have the legs bent here. If you have a stick, you're welcome to use that like you did in the warm-up. And then with a long spine, Christy's going to hinge forward just to a point. Her knees are not collapsing inwards, they're staying out, and then she's going to come back up. If this is easy, she can straighten the legs. Okay, and then go through the same thing here, making sure there's no rounding in her spine. If this is quite easy for you though, we're going to take this to the floor and work through a pancake. Good morning. So legs out in a straddle, and then it's the same motion here, slight anterior tilt in the hips, and she's coming forward. She doesn't need to use the stick. If she prefers to work with her arms overhead, she can do that. Reach them overhead, and then that will make it a little more challenging than with the stick on the arms by yourself. All right, guys? We are going to work for 10 reps, 10-second hold in the bottom of your last rep. So find the variation you're going to work with today, and then let's go into it for 1. Hinge forward, pause at the bottom, and come up. 2, and up. Good. There's tension in those legs. 3, they're not just hanging out. 4, and up. And as you can see, Christy's making herself long as she's hinging forward. 5, 6, 7, really nice. 8, lead with that chest forward. 8, 9, and we're coming down for 10. If you're in that plank before, you're welcome to keep the hands off or make it easier by taking them down to the floor and support yourself. So that's your choice. We're going to hold here for another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then coming back up to the top. Beautiful. All right, from there we're going to set up in a quadruped position, and we're going to work through a few knee hinges. So Christy's going to come onto all fours. She can take her left elbow to the floor if she likes, and then have the other to the side. From there, she's going to take her right knee up as high as she can. So she's in a horse stance, but on all fours. Okay, so knees as far apart as she can. Just keeping that knee nice and high. Now she's going to straighten the leg out all the way, and then she's going to hinge back in. As she does this, her leg is not moving back, okay? Or it's not dropping either. She's keeping that knee in position, like it's anchored in, and it's just the shin moving back and forth. All right, guys? 10 reps here and a 10-second hold as well. So let's come down, left elbow on the floor, right knee out to the side, and let's extend that leg for 1, and in. Good. 2, pause in that extended position, and in. 3, actively pulling your knees as far apart from each other as you can. That is 4, 5, good. 6, trying to keep the knees and the toes pointing forward as you go. 7, 8, see if you can get that knee a little higher for those last few. That's it. 9, and then extend and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, foot nice and high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee and bring the knee down. Well done. I'm not sure Christy's going to like me after this, after we've done with the session. All right, let's do the other side. Come onto your right elbow, and then let's pop that left knee out. Actively pulling those knees apart. Keep your knee and your hip in line, and we extend for 1, and in. Good. 2, nice and controlled, guys. We're not just throwing that leg out there. 3, 4, 5, good. See if that knee can go a little higher again. 6, 7, 8, you got it, guys. Don't forget to breathe. 9, and last one, extend and hold nice and high. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending the knee first, and then lowering that knee down. Well done. All right, you might want to come into a child's pose for a moment, or swivel the hips around. You might want to stand up and walk for a few steps, whatever you feel like you need. And then we're going to go into one more round, starting with either the seated straddle good mornings on your chair or in your pancake on the floor. And if you're working with the floor, but you're struggling to get that anterior tilt, you also got the option, guys, to sit on a yoga block. We should have probably done that on the last round, but that's sort of a step in between the bench and the floor. Okay, so you're keeping the block? Yeah. So Christy's going to work this round with the block, so if you need to have a look, have a quick split. All right, guys, 10 reps here, 10-second hold at the bottom. Legs are nice and straight, and we're going to hinge forward for 1, long spine, and up. 2, and up, good. 3, pause, and up. So we're not bouncing out of the bottom, but we're controlled all the way through. That is 4, 5. So you can see how Chrissy is really reaching her arms overhead. If that is too challenging, have them across your chest or on the floor even. 6, 7. Good. We're going to work for 3 more and then holding for 10 on the last. 8. Remembering to keep your legs engaged. They're not fully relaxed there. That was 9. And let's come down for 10 and hold there. Either active with the arms off or arms on the floor for support for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up with control. Nice work. All right, we do have one more on those horse stance knee hinges, so prepare yourself mentally. We'll go right leg first again. So pop your left elbow down, your left knee is under your hip, and let's take that right leg out. Pull those knees as far apart from each other as you can, and then extend that knee for 1, and good. 2, 3, working with control, guys. 5, making sure that knee doesn't go anywhere. So as you can see, Christy's leg is really still. It's just her knee hinging. 6, not moving up or down. 7, 8, 9. If you're shaking, embrace it. Keep working through. We're going to hold here for 10, guys. Last hold on this side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending the knee first, then bring that leg down. Beautiful. All right, other side. So let's pull those knees apart. Good. And let's go extend for 1, 2, controlled reps. 3, 4. Knees and toes are pointing forward as we go. 5, 6, 7, almost there. 8, work through those last 2 reps with us. 9, and then we've got one more hold to finish this one up. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, lift a little higher. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee and then bring that leg down. Really good work. All right, while you have a quick rest, we're going to take you through the next set. We've got 2 more exercises we are going to work through. For the first one, you'll have a few options, okay? You're going to work through Cossacks. We're going to go one side first for 60 seconds before we do the other side. So, Christy, which side are we going to start on? We're going to go over to the left. So, you can see she's keeping her leg nice and straight here. Her bent knee is out to the side. It's not collapsing inwards, okay? Sorry, I have to her there. So she's really nice one. She's upright to her torso, and then she's going to drive back up to the top. You might not get quite as low as Christy, and that is perfectly fine. If you do have the range to get all the way to the floor, you've got the option. So you come all the way down, control your hips down. You're going to internally rotate that knee, bring it back up, make sure it's out to the side as you lift up. Or if you have weights at home and you'd like to make it more challenging, you can hold a weight in front of you, whether that's a dumbbell or a kettlebell, and load them up. All right? We are going to get into it, guys, in 3, 2, and 1. So slowly sitting down to the side. You've got 2 options here. You can either keep that foot flat down with the knee turned forward, or if you're able to, you start that way and then turn the knee and the toes up into that external rotation. Good. Keeping both heels on the floor the entire time. So you want to make sure that, especially on the bent leg side, we do not let that heel come up. And then just a controlled tempo all the way through. And be really strict with yourself. Once you hit the point where your bent knee is starting to collapse inwards and you're just pushing your bum out to the side, that's where you stop and work back up. Good, guys. We are almost there. We've got another 10 seconds, so that's maybe 1 or 2 more reps. Make sure we always finish a rep fully. Good. So Christy can wrap it up there and then changing over to the other side. Good. So you're going to try stay fairly upright. We're obviously going to lean forward a little, but we're trying not to dive down. So you can see Christy's got a nice upright position all the way through. Heels are still driving down into the floor. And she has chosen to externally rotate the leg as she is going down. If that works for you, great, but if not, feel free to keep that foot, that straight leg foot flat down and keep the knee pointing forward. Good, we're over halfway, guys. And you should be working, by now it looks like Christy is working a little more for those last 2 reps, so keep pushing through, 10 seconds to go. Good, last rep, guys. All the way down and then drive up to the top. Good. All right, for the next exercise, if you have ankle weights, you're welcome to use them. Do you want to use them or are you going to go? Yeah. So we'll just go demo it without, but you've got the option to add them on. Okay, Christy's going to lie on her back and maybe side on. Yeah. So she's on her back, arms can just be out by the side. From there, she's going to take her legs straight up to the ceiling. Both of them. Good. And then she's keeping the hips down, so she's not curling her hips off the floor. Okay, so sit forward, the back of the hips stay down. From there, she's going to take her legs as wide out into a straddle as she can. She's going to actively pull the feet to the floor, and then she's going to use her inner thighs to pull those legs back up to the top. Okay, we're going to work for time on this one, guys. As you do this, don't let the legs move away from you. So they're not traveling away. You're thinking you are putting the feet towards you and out to the side. So when you're ready, let's start. Bring those legs up and then off we go. If your legs can't go all the way up and stay straight, so Christy's got good range through her hip flexion here, but if you can't, you're welcome to take the legs a little further away so you can straighten out the legs. Arms are just by your side, back is staying flat on the floor, and then squeeze your butt, pull the feet out, pause at the bottom, really max out your range, and then use your inner thighs to bring the feet back up and together. That is halfway. Good, really nice. You might find your core is working a little bit here as well, and your hip flexors keeping the legs up towards your chest. We've got 15 seconds to go. Beautiful, the last couple reps, guys. Max out your range. And then once you've brought those legs back up, you can bend the knees and come out of there. Good, really nice. We're going to go through this for one more round. So coming back up to your Cossacks. Feel free to choose that same variation, or if on the first one you've limit up and you feel like you can work to the floor this time or add weight, go for it. We've got 60 seconds. And we're going to go one side first. Let's do it. Good. So if you need to check, Christy has just gone all the way to the floor. So if you're wanting to do that and unsure, have a quick look. She's sitting down with control, bringing the knee in. She's pulling the knee out. And then she's standing back up. And she's got her arms out in front of her, which can sometimes help to reach into. Good. If you can't go all the way to the floor, that is perfectly fine. Not everyone has that range. Just work with the level that you've got. It's always more important we work our reps with quality form rather than trying to push into something that our body might not be quite ready for. Good. The straight leg remains straight all the way through. We've got 10 seconds to go, guys. Good, let's do one more rep there. And drive back up, good. All right, quick breather there, and then we'll work into the other side. So let's do it, timer is on. Keeping both heels pressing down. The bent knee stays out to the side. Good, and guys, if you're trying to work to the floor and you're pretty close, but you're like a little bit stuck in that bottom position, you can either use your hands for the support, Or you could grab a little weight or a filled up water bottle and hold that out in front of you for a little counterweight, which can sometimes help bridge that gap. We are halfway. Good. So it's not important how many reps we get in, focusing on good quality reps.
Yes.
Chris's knee is making me. Very interesting sounds there. All right, let's do one more rep. And then you can pause at the top. All right, we've got one more on our straddle hip flies. So lying on your back, guys. Arms out to the side, bring those legs straight up to the ceiling. So knees straight, even if that means maybe your legs work in this position rather than in 90 degrees in your hip. All right, and let's actively pull those feet apart. Still pulling the feet towards you as you bring them out, and then use your inner thighs to bring your legs back up and together. Good. Work with the range that you've got, but do challenge yourself at the end point. Rather than just going through like a windscreen viper, I want you to pull in that end position, really see if you can squeeze out another millimeter or so before you bring those legs back together. Make sure your back stays flat on the floor, so we're not curling the tailbone off. Good. You are well over halfway there. Really nice. Working through those last few reps, guys. Making sure you keep your form all the way through. Good, we're gonna go one more rep here. Good, and then you might wanna hug the knees to the chest for a moment. You might wanna rock back and forth or side to side. Well done, we're gonna just wrap it up with a quick stretch. So while you're on your back there, I'm gonna get you to pop one knee onto the opposite, one ankle on the opposite knee. And then you can grab your arms either around your shin or behind the hamstring and then lie back and just relax into position there. Okay. So Christy can easily grab around her shin. If you struggle to do that with your head and your shoulders on the floor, just grab around your hamstring. And then we should feel a stretch through the outside hip of that leg that's going across. And you can make that stretch stronger by gently pushing that knee away from you. Good, and then focus on your breathing here. Make sure you take a nice deep breath, preferably through your nose if you can. Good, and then we're going to slowly release this side and swap it over to the other. Good, relaxing into that position there. And you might find that one side feels a bit tighter than the other. That's perfectly normal, but it's good to be aware of that. We've got a little over here, guys. Focus on your breathing. Stay nice and relaxed. Big breath into your tummy. Good, and then you're going to release there. I'm going to do one more to finish up. I'm just going to go into a little lower back twist. So Christy can straighten out one leg, and then she's going to bring the other knee across, and she's going to look over the opposite shoulder. So she's got her left leg straight, the right knee's across, and she's looking back over that right shoulder. And just taking a few breaths there. Good, and let's bring it over to the other side. Good, just relaxing into it. And then once you feel ready, we are all done for today, guys. Well done. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.